Welcome back to the podcast. In today's episode, I'm joined by UK author Paula Johnston, who shares her incredible publishing journey from releasing her first novel independently in 2020 to watching it go viral on social media and eventually securing a traditional book deal. We chat about the power of BookTok and Instagram, overcoming rejection and imposter syndrome, navigating the differences between self-publishing and traditional publishing, and why persistence is one of the most important qualities an author can have. Whether you're an aspiring writer, a published author, or simply curious about the modern publishing world, this conversation is full of honest insights, practical advice, and plenty of inspiration. So let's jump in and meet Paula. Hey Paula, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, I'm very well. Thank you for joining the podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I know it's morning time where you are, and it's not too late here, which is nice, but I always find this quite funny when we do different time zones. It's amazing what you can do with technology nowadays.
Yeah, it's only 11 o'clock, but I'm still a bit like, oh.
I know. It's quite nice that the time difference has happened because prior it was slightly awkward timing. So it's quite nice now. It would have been either super early for you or super late for me, but this is kind of reasonable.
Yeah, this is a good one. Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining. Before we kind of step in and hear about your story, your journey, why don't you share a little bit about yourself for everyone listening today?
Okay, so my name is Paula Johnston, and I previously self-published 2 books, and recently I have just signed a traditional deal with Bloodhound Books, and my new book will be out in July this year.
Exciting. How did that feel? And we'll talk about the journey in a minute between self-publishing and then traditional, but when you signed that contract, how did it make you feel?
I don't actually think it's sunk in yet. Everybody's really excited around me, and I'm kind of like, so what we having for dinner? But no, it does feel amazing. I have moments where it hits me and I go, wow. Because it's such a big thing. It's kind of the dream, isn't it, for an author? So there is moments where I sit and I go, wow, this is happening. But there's other times when I'm going, no, this isn't real.
Have you seen the cover and stuff yet? Is that all been?
Yes,
I have. Amazing.
And it's a bit different from my previous book covers. And at first I was a little bit unsure because I had went with a specific theme myself doing it before, but once it was kind of explained to me what they were pitching it as and where it would sit in the market, I just fell in love with it completely. Yeah, I'm really excited for everybody to see it because it is a bit different.
Did you have any say in it, or did you kind of let them take control?
They sent over a draft and there was a few tweaks that I just kind of said, could we make it the colour pop a little bit or maybe change this colour just to make that stand out. But apart from that, no, there wasn't anything major. They've done a really, really good job. And once they had explained kind of where they see it in the market, I totally understood the vision that they had. And and now it's my home screen on everything, my laptop, my iPad, my phone.
I love that. And you're probably still going through some of the edits at the moment, but when it's due out in July, have you got anything planned for it?
I've cancelled it and then booked it and cancelled it and booked it so many times because I just get quite bad anxiety about celebrating something for myself and being around loads of people, but everybody around me is this is a huge deal. So I have booked a launch party, so drinks, a reading, a Q&A, and a chance for people to bring the books that they might have bought already if they want them signed. So, and then maybe drinks and dinner with family. So
Oh, that sounds really nice. And this is the thing, because you're obviously self-published as well, you must have a following already, which comes with it. So is it still in line with your typical genre that you write in?
Yeah, it is very much in the same genre. You said I've got a following, and there will be stuff that I can tell you on this podcast about the previous genre and the previous books that I have wrote follow the same genre as well. But it's thriller, kind of dark comedy laced throughout it as well. So it's a bit light at some points, but the themes are still quite heavy. But I think that is kind of my writing style, is adding in a bit of something to just kind of make you laugh a little bit as well, so that it takes the seriousness away from it as well.
Yeah. Let's go back. So when did you start your writing journey? And then what did that look like from obviously a self-publishing point of view? I think you mentioned about 2020 being that time when you started to kind of look into that.
Yeah, I self-published my debut, The Lies She Told, in 2020. At that point, I didn't really take it too seriously because I didn't think much would come from it, to be honest. So I did send a couple of query letters to agents, but the goal was always just to get it out there. So I knew that if nothing came back, I was going to self-publish it anyway. So I wasn't too disheartened that nothing came from it. Just, I think purely just because I never expected it to do so well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I self-published it, and I don't know, it just went a bit crazy.
Oh, wow.
It really did fly for readers, and that's where I gained my following, which was
Yeah.
quite crazy because from somebody that had never been heard of before or had any other work out, it was quite surreal, the amount of people that were like, I really love this book, and it just kept happening, and more things kept happening, and doors kept opening, and it just became a bit surreal, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think it was then about your book or your writing that, captured that audience?
I don't actually know. I know that the story's a bit out there. It's a bit unhinged. And I don't know if people just liked that somebody was just writing about the worst case scenario. Like, what would you do if you were a bit crazy? And they liked reading about someone that would do that. And that's the only thing I can think of, that maybe they enjoyed that aspect of my writing, but really couldn't tell you.
No. Did you do much marketing, or like was it just out in the Amazon world and it kind of went from there?
It was out on Amazon, but obviously I am the marketing team with a self-publishing journey. So I did look up what you could do in Instagram. I started on Instagram from scratch.
Yeah.
And created like loads of like promotion images and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really know what I was doing, to be honest. I just thought, okay, here's the book. We'll post some pictures. We'll post pictures of readers with the book. And then it ended up in Waterstones, which was mad. Yeah.
That's so good. So good. How did that feel, knowing your book's in water? I've seen the pictures on your Instagram as well. So it's
that was wild because from a young age I was always in Waterstones as a little girl, like reading books and buying books with my pocket money, and I always used to be like, oh, I'd love to be in a bookshop one day. And when it happened, it was just kind of like, how
for that, right? Because typically, a lot of people, and I've self-published before, it's like you have to do, like you said, a lot of marketing yourself unless you hire a publicist or, a marketing team. There are other companies you can go for where you can get that kind of hybrid model. But did you reach out to them, or did they see the noise around like your book and they thought, oh, actually that would be a really good seller in our store? What did that kind of look like for you?
I think there was a bit of noise. I was following like Waterstone stores and things like that, but I think people kept going into the store and asking, do you have this book? And I kept getting messages like that, is the book in this store? And I was like, no, it's not. And someone who works in the store reached out to me and said, do you think you could pop in and speak to the store manager? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I went in and I spoke to them, and they said, yeah, we would love to stock this book. And it then went from one store to 2 stores to 3 stores to 4.
Amazing.
And it was selling out. It was on the table at the front door. It was in the window, and it just spiraled. It was really out the blue.
Gosh. And especially around that time, because I mean, releasing in 2020, we all know it was like a dreadful year for everyone with the pandemic, right? So for that to then streamline and go crazy for you, like almost like a pinch me moment, right?
Yeah, it came out in 2020, and I think it took until the end of 2021 for it to really pick up a gear, and that's when everything started happening. So although it came out in 2020, 2022 was probably the biggest year for it. That's when it went into stores and the papers.
I mean, self-publishing isn't easy, is it? Like, there's so much to learn because you have to be the role of everybody, right? You have to not only be the author, but then you've got to figure out how to use KDP and get it in the right format for Amazon. And then you've got to be social media. You've then got to market it when it comes out. You've got to, you've got to find a book cover designer, and all these things take time and take money. Did you find that process quite easy, or were you just kind of winging it as you were going along, as a lot of people do?
I actually looked into it quite a bit. I kind of not studied, but I learned a lot and I looked it up of what would need to be done and the steps that would need to be done to get it on KDP and how to get an ISBN and a barcode and things you don't even realise that come with publishing a book. You don't realise that you need different codes for different things and it needs to be registered on certain... It was a lot of studying. It wasn't just, I'm going to write this book and publish it. I did try and make sure that I'd done everything that had to be done, but that just came from learning myself. So there was nobody really telling me what to do.
And before you even got to that point then, how long had you been writing for? Had you had this story for a number of years, or was it something that you just thought in that moment, which I've been hearing a lot, like there's a trigger point in someone's life where they've always wanted to do it, but they've just had that voice, or there's something that's happened and they've gone, this is the moment. And then they write this novel and then they get it out into the world, whether it's through self-publishing or traditional. And that's kind of the start of their career. So what did that look like for you?
I had always wanted to write. I studied journalism at college and I dropped out because that wasn't really the kind of style of writing that I wanted to do. I learned and I totally went off the trajectory and then done other things. But I would blog on the side, or I would write poems, or just silly things like that. I was working in an office at the time. I actually felt not well. I developed a stomach condition at the time that seen me off work, and I had been playing about with writing the book just because I thought, we'll just play about with it. I had a lot of time to myself to struggle with my health, and that kind of brought my mood down quite a bit, and I struggled a lot being in the house, and I needed a focus and a purpose, and I thought this is the time to do it. I've got this time, I'm in the house, let's just go for it.
Yeah. And well, look, things happen for a reason, don't they? And that's kick-started and it's progressed to where you are today, right? So I think you put the time and the effort in. You did self-publishing for your first book. You had phenomenal results. What did it look like for your second book that you self-published?
So this journey was a little bit different. It was actually a really hard time in my personal life, and I don't speak about it a lot because you don't want sympathy or like, oh, woe is me. But I had just come out of a 6-year relationship. I was finding somewhere to live. My granddad had just been diagnosed with cancer, and I had this book that I had signed with an agent for. That was the next big thing in my career. My agent was brilliant. She loved the book. It went out and it submitted to quite a lot of publishers, and I got amazing feedback, but some just thought it was a bit too niche. This one, it's called All in Her Head. It's got a bit of a supernatural edge. Not too heavy, but I think at the time it just wasn't in the market. And I came to that point where I could either put it in a drawer and forget about that book, or I could take it back and do it myself again and see what happens. At that time, I really needed a purpose again. So it's kind of crazy that my books have come from life events triggering it, but that is what's happened. And I published it. It didn't flop. It just never reached the same readership as the first book. And I was gutted because book 2 felt way more pressure than writing the first book. It's still sitting there, but I never felt that it had its moment. There was loads of people that still said to me, I loved your second book. And I was like, a lot of people did, but it just never had the chance to travel as the first one did for some reason. Fortunately, it will have its moment again.
Okay. That's good. That's good to hear. Because you just mentioned there about you felt that extra pressure. Where did you feel that was coming from?
I think because I never expected the first book to do so well. There was pressure on me now that I'd built up this readership. People wanted another book, and I didn't know if I was like a one-hit wonder, if I could do it again. And I think I really tormented myself with it. Like it didn't become fun anymore. It was, I need to get this done. I need to get this done. And I really did not enjoy the process of it whatsoever. There was just, if this fails, what happens then?
And probably, you put that self-doubt in your mind, don't you? And it's difficult because it's different times as well. I mean, who knows, like maybe if you wrote that story first and, that came out, it could have had the same effect because it's a different time, wasn't it? Like it was coming, it came out in COVID, but like you said, it took another year or so for it to fully be out
Yeah.
there and people out and about again, going into shops. And it's just really
Yeah.
hard to tell, isn't it? It may have been nothing to do with your story or your
Yeah.
writing. It's just different timing, different moment. But yeah, I totally get
Yeah.
the having the pressure of that second book, especially when the first one's done so well. I mean,
Yeah.
you mentioned there about that you got an agent. So that obviously is a really positive thing that came off having that first book
Yeah.
out in the world. What did that look like for you?
I was actually really lucky. There was an agent that I'd seen that was looking for new authors, and I felt that we would be a really good fit. I just took a chance. I pitched this book idea because it wasn't even written yet, and because she'd loved the lies she told, she kind of believed that this book was going to be great, and she signed me on that right away. So I didn't actually have to go out on the queries of finding an agent. That one was really, really easy, and I was so lucky, which is why it was such a big decision to walk away from that.
Yeah. So what did that look like? You put your second book out in the world, self-published, and then obviously you're now going into the traditional published route. So how has that evolved for you? Like, what happened between that second book coming out into the world through yourself to obviously then getting that traditional book deal?
So for the third book, I decided I was just going to have a lot more fun with it. And I was going to just take away all expectations of what was going to happen. And I was just going to see where it went. It got to October last year and I was almost finished, but I saw that there was a publishing house, someone I really wanted to work with, was opening their submissions for unagented authors for 1 week between Christmas and New Year. And I had not finished the book. So I was like, right. And I channeled it and I locked myself away and I finished it and I managed to submit it to this publisher during the week periods. And at the time, because I'd finished it, I thought I'll also, just for the sake of it, I'll send it to a couple of agents and I'll send it to a couple of other publishing houses that might accept unagented authors. But they were always my top pick. The rejections started coming in January. And I remember I got my third rejection and I was just having a meltdown. I was like, this is just, it's never going to happen this way for me. I'm going to self-publish again. And I had another full marketing plan in place. Like, right, there'll be a date in April if nobody picks this up where I'm going to then do it all myself. And the same day that I had that absolute meltdown, an hour later, I got the offer from that publisher that I wrote the book for specifically.
Amazing.
So that was just amazing.
Yeah. What made you want to go with that publisher? Like, why did you have them in your site originally?
Do you know, you just get a vibe. Like, I liked the stories and the types of books they were producing. I liked their online presence. I'd never heard anything bad about them. I thought they were, to be honest, a bit out my league, but I just thought I'll give it a chance. And if they're if they're opening it up to people, then I'll give it a go. It was really refreshing to sign with a publishing house that understood my writing style instantly. And that's been backed up by there's been hardly any edits for me to change. They've now kind of invested in me as a person rather than just one book. And that's been really assuring that it wasn't for everybody, but it just shows you I found my place where people get me, and that's made me feel a lot better and more confident about my career going forward.
And it only takes one, doesn't it? I always hear this from authors. It's like sometimes it's right time, right place, in the fact that like you might query your book, but they may have like a week ago offered another author who writes very similar to you a book deal. So then they're like, okay, well, like, we've already done that. We need to look for different types, because sometimes they don't know whether it's going to be a huge success or not. And there's trends that happen in. So I think it's just sometimes that's why you should query it to like as many as possible. But I'm so happy for you that you got the publishing house that you wanted. You're putting it out there into the world. It's come back full circle. And how crazy that like you got rejection after rejection after rejection and you were like so devastated, but then literally on the same day. It's funny how the world works.
I think I get quite bad imposter syndrome with my writing, and I always think this isn't good enough to be out
Yeah.
in the world. And rejections hit me hard because of that. And it
Yeah.
does make you go, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I need to find another career or something else to do with my life, because this is what I do full time. And just signing that first traditional deal, like that was the goal. That was the end
Yeah.
goal. There was nothing wrong with self-publishing. I loved everything it brought me. It opened so many doors. And if I hadn't signed that deal, I would still self-publish. But
Yeah.
I think for me personally, to believe in myself, I needed a
Yes.
higher power to say,
Yeah.
yeah, you're good. You've got this. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because I suppose it must be that you now feel equal to some of those other authors that are out into the world, right? That if they can do it, why can't you? And then now you have been. And I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with self-publishing. I think there's a place for it, and a lot of people do it because it gives them more control as well, and they get more of the royalties. And I do feel deep down a lot of people do want to have that reassurance of the publishing house, and it's
I think
evolving
there's
as
a
well.
stigma.
Mm.
I think there is a stigma as well. There shouldn't be, but there is. I think that if you're self-published, you're not a real author.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's ridiculous, because you do the work, you write a book, you market it.
Yeah.
There's nothing non-author about it. It's and I believe that, and yet I still
Yeah.
needed that
Yeah.
traditional deal to make me feel like I can do this. It's more not changed anything about my life. It's just changed more about how I feel going forward about,
Yeah.
right, this is going to be a long-term thing now.
Yeah. And I think it's probably giving you the confidence that you need, right, to keep
Yeah.
producing that work. And you'll probably see that your
Yeah.
work is enhanced just by having it. Like in any role that you do, any kind of like acknowledgement or, someone giving you a compliment or boosting your confidence
Yeah.
is going to enhance that output that you give, right? Because it gives you that spring in your step, doesn't it? It gives you that, yes, a reassurance that I am good, I can do this, rather than we always do self-doubt. I mean, as human beings, especially females, we constantly tell ourselves that we're not good enough. And
Yeah.
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 And I don't know, I would love to have, I know a lot of people would love to have that male confidence, but I feel like, and I've said this before, and I had this with one of the authors, it's like, it's a proven fact that, for instance, if we were going for a job interview versus a man, if there was like 10 criteria points and a woman was missing just one, we wouldn't apply, yet a man would. And I think that's the difference between us sometimes, is that they will just go for it and think they've got nothing to lose. But we just think, oh no, we've got to be perfect in order to be able to produce that or be acknowledged to be in that role. So this has come at the right time for you, right? Because maybe, and I don't know how you feel about this, but you said if you hadn't got this, you would have continued down the self-publishing route. Would you have still queried to publishers, do you reckon? Or do you think that would have been something you'd have to work on?
Well, I sent 5 queries in total, I think, to agents and other publishing houses. And I got another offer from another publisher. And I would have really liked to see this, but I've now seen that you've signed with a publisher, so I'm now not going to take it on. And then the rest were rejections. So I think if that had happened, I wouldn't have queried more. I would have just went, okay, well, that's it.
Well,
But,
it's not a bad hand to have, is it? Technically 3 offers right out of the 5.
Yeah.
You've obviously got something there. How do you write your query letters? And because it takes time, doesn't it? And you have to really put yourself out there on paper. Even just reading that query letter, you need to get them intrigued enough to want to read your work and read it now and not push it down the pile.
Yeah, I struggle with query letters because there's a fine line between telling them what you've achieved by yourself and boasting.
Yeah.
And I never want to come across as, I've done this all by myself, because I've been really lucky to have all that success. Like, I don't take that for granted at all, but it's also part of my journey that I want to tell people, to show that I can work hard for this and I really want it. So when it comes to the query letters, I kind of write it, read it a million times, and then I'll never look at it again. I'll just send it before I change my mind. So like, some people will take weeks to like write query letters, and I think I'll do it in one day, because I'll just obsess, and then send, and I never want to see it again.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you won't have to do a query letter again. So you're with your publishing house now, but do you have an agent as well, or are you going to look for one later?
At this point, I don't really know if I need one right now.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
There's been a few more opportunities that have come from signing with this publisher that have happened without an agent.
Yeah.
And I don't know, part of me would like someone else in my corner just to have for like, I'm not an agent. I don't know all the legalities and things of contracts, and think that would be good. But also a big part of having an agent is also to get you a publishing deal. And I got it. So it's, do you want one? Do you not? It's not something I would rule out. If I saw someone that I thought would be a good fit for me, I think I would definitely reach out to them. But
yeah, I mean, I've spoken to authors who have done it your way, publishing, and then got an agent later down when they felt that it's the right time. Just more so for like foreign rights, or, if they want to start talking to production companies to be commissioned, and just those things where they can push your brand a little bit more to kind of step into a few different areas. But yeah, it's about timing. And at the moment, like you said, you've got a really great deal and you're with the publishing house that you wanted to go with, and you've got amazing things happening because you've got your third book coming out in July. Can you share any more about what's potentially on the cards for you, like longer term?
Signed with my publishing house at the start of February, and one publishing contract is huge. And I then I think I was so excited about what was happening. I started thinking really business-like. And I was like, I've got 2 other books sitting here that one done amazing, one never reached. But also I think people still gravitate towards The Lies She Told because it's not reached everyone that it could. And I just went out on a whim, and I just, first of all, I got in touch with the publisher and I says, I have this idea for The Lies She Told, and I would like to write some bonus chapters. I would like to write another book, bringing in the character from the first book, but also with the third book, and merge them a little. And they loved the idea. Initially, they were like, great, we're happy to republish The Lies She Told under our name, which was amazing. And then they offered me another contract to write the book that I had also pitched to them that I want to write.
Oh, wow.
Which was crazy because you don't expect to be signed on a book you've not wrote yet. That was big enough. So I was sitting there with three book deals in the space of 2 months.
Wow.
And I was waiting for all that to be finalised, and the publishing house said to me, when do you see the next book coming out? Will it be like summer, October? Like, what kind of read will it be? And I said, well, I might be chancing my arm here, but I do have an autumnal read been sitting here. And they said to me, we actually wondered why you hadn't pitched that to us. So I was like, say no more. Here you go. So I wrote a query letter and a synopsis for that, and they got back to me last week just to confirm that, okay, so now we'll offer you another one. So that was a 3-book deal. So essentially they're going to republish my 2 self-published books. Publish my new book in July, and then there will be another new book that I'm still to write coming out next July.
Wow.
So essentially in the space of 3 months, I've somehow managed to sign 4 book deals.
Yeah. Maybe that's a record.
Yeah. I don't know. That's why I think it doesn't really feel real, because it's like one's huge, but 4?
Yeah. Do you know what I was going to ask you? Like, do you feel the pressure now? But I mean, you've got some of this all ready to go, right? Especially the first one that did phenomenally well, and you've got your one coming out in July. So it's not like you've then got to write 4 new books, right? So you're probably confident because you know your writing's good. You know it's landed really well with being in the market already, and it will just probably elevate it being with this publisher, because they can probably do a little bit more to your brand and the book and sell it in more locations, right? And more bookstores.
I don't feel pressure with the republication and writing the bonus chapters, because I know those stories inside and out. I think the only thing I feel a bit of pressure is now that I've got to write a new book now that'll be out next July. And there's a deadline on that I've never had before. Self-publishing is just, I do it when I do it. But now there is a timeline. I've got to have the bonus chapters for The Lies She Told. I've got to have the bonus chapters for All in Her Head. And I've then got to have a full new book and still complete the final proofreads of the one coming out in July. So I think there's a bit of, it's all happening at once.
Yeah. It's a good job. This is your full-time job. Otherwise, you'd be like hiding away for the next couple of years.
And it's great. It's good. It's good pressure, but it's new to me because I can take my time. Previously, there's nobody rushing me. There's nobody saying this needs to be done by a certain time. So it'll just be different. It'll be different to see how I cope with that pressure.
Yeah. Thinking about that then, because I would love to know where your inspiration comes from. So where do you channel that from?
From the darkest corners of my mind.
Oh. Yeah, because you've said that
I think it's just...
events have triggered it, right? Of things have happened in your life. Yeah. You've started obviously writing. Do you think some of your life merges or crosses over into your writing?
There's aspects of me in both of my previous books, whereas I'm not the character, but there's definitely life experiences that have allowed me to write struggles and things that those characters are going through. But apart from that, I kind of just like to write about me and you. If something was to happen, imagine you could do this. And there'd be no consequences. Your craziest thought, I hate them, what would I do? Or I don't like this, what would I do? And nobody would do it because we're normal and we're sane. But imagine if somebody did just go wild and do whatever they wanted. And that's what I like writing about, because I think that's where I found my writing style is, you shouldn't do it, but what if you did? What would happen? And then I write a story off the back of that.
Are there any authors that you compare yourself to then, who write similar to your stories?
That's a hard one because I read so many authors and sometimes I see myself in a few of them. And I think that's like a me book. There was a book actually I read recently and it's by a author who's with my publishing house. And I'd never read any of her books before and I've not met her yet. And I said to her, I'm going to read this book. And I was reading it and I was like, this author is crazy. And I thought, I love that because I'm crazy. And that was the first time I thought, we will get on so well.
Yeah. Maybe that's why you're with the same publishing house.
Yeah, maybe,
Yeah, and I think everyone crosses over, right? There's little snippets from different books and how authors approach things and maybe similar storylines. Yeah, maybe that's what it is with you, like your uniqueness. You step over those boundaries that people put in place and you give those readers something to go, oh my gosh, like that crazy, like I said, that crazy thought that you always had, but you would never normally do it. We have rules and regulations in place. But then when someone writes about it, like, actually, I'd do that. Or actually, maybe I'd do that differently. Like you give them permission to think those insane thoughts.
Yeah, I think that is a common thread in all of my books is the what if.
Yeah, exactly. What about challenges then? When you've been out querying and, getting those knockbacks. What do you think has been your biggest challenge so far?
Honestly, I think the biggest challenge is myself and my own self-belief. I do overthink everything and sometimes it doesn't matter if someone will tell me this is the best book they've ever read, or sometimes I just don't believe it. And I think keeping myself on that momentum to believe in myself enough to keep going, I think that's my biggest challenge, because you can have one bad day and you think, I'm rubbish, this is terrible, it's boring, I can't write, why am I even doing this? And there's been so many times when I've just thought, I'm going to need to find something else to do, but if I'm not writing, I don't know what else to do. And that's the biggest challenge for me, because this is the only thing I've actually ever really wanted.
Do you look at it now though and feel like, okay, this is a huge achievement? Or do you keep thinking, I've got to do better. Like, oh, okay, I've got this. Now this is going to be what I want next. And so you're always striving for something more.
I actually said this to my friend the other day. I said, I think sometimes the reason I struggle to feel so elated about massive news is because once I've reached it, I then go, okay, but what else do I have to achieve?
Yeah, what's next?
Yeah. And I don't give myself that grace to just sit in it and be like, you've achieved this is lovely. I then start thinking, okay, but how can I do better and bigger? And that's
so
a flaw in
true.
me, because I should be able to sit in the moment and enjoy it. But I think I am an overachiever where I always want to do the best that I can do. And I don't know if I've reached it yet, even though I've reached the point where I thought I've reached. I then go, oh, maybe there's another level that I've still to meet. So that's my...
But do you find that you compare yourself to like other authors? Like, I mean, even looking at in the world right now, like those authors who, you know, their books are being turned into movies or TV shows. Like, do you look at that and go, oh, I need to get there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's not happening to every author, but it is more common nowadays than it has ever been that books are being turned into TV or film adaptations. That's a new door that seems to have opened for writers that wasn't really there. It was usually you're an author, you write a book.
Yeah.
So I think with that, they are just sitting on the side. It's like, okay, so could I achieve that? Because they've done it. Could I do that? But again, that's my own fault. Like I should just be content with what I've got now and see what comes and not chase the next big thing.
It's hard though, because I'm a bit like you in the fact that I find it hard to sit in the moment and to be like, you know, it'll take like someone to say to me, that's a huge achievement. You're like, is it? No, I can be doing better.
Yeah,
right? But I do think if you have high expectations, like sometimes if you get a little bit complacent, you're never going to achieve those really high things that you see others have achieved, and you think about what they have put themselves through to get there. I don't think anyone at that level has said, yeah, I got an easy ride here. You know, I did this. And then, you know, I feel like those people at the top have worked extremely hard. And so I think if you, not you personally, but those, you know, out there who strive to be the best, there are not consequences, but you have to take it that next level, and you do have to always be thinking. But it is sad because we do live in a world where we're always chasing the dream, and like you said, we forget the life that we're living. And so actually this was your dream once, right? But you're now on to the next thing. So you're almost forgetting that, God, we like a couple of years ago or 2020, you were dreaming that you wanted to be picked up by a publisher. And now you've got, and you've been commissioned for a book deal, right? So it's like, that's a huge achievement. And it must be hard because you know that you should be reveling in that success, but also you're probably battling with yourself because you're like, no, I know I can do more and I want more. So it's a
like I've said, there's some points where I will physically sit myself down and turn all the telly and all the noise off, and I'll replay. It's almost like a film in my head from where I started to where I've got now, just to really understand how far I've come and how I've managed to get the thing I thought was way out of reach at the beginning, and now I'm in it. And it's to really just try and soak that up. There is the expectation from readers too about what's next, because when my first book came out, everybody was like, this would make a brilliant TV series. And I was like, I'm just trying to write a book. And I've been signed these deals, and I've been I'm allowed to drop hints, but I'm not allowed to announce it yet. I have had an influx of messages saying, please tell me it's a TV adaptation. Please tell me someone signed you for a film. I've then sat back and been like, no, it's just 4 book deals, but it's not just 4 book deals.
No. Oh, but then you're like, keep saying that message, because the more noise we make that people want to see this being adapted, someone out there will be listening. You never know with social media. Like, I don't know about you, but even when I started this podcast, I still get amazed when I get people messaging me and I'm like, oh my God, it's reached that country, and I
Yeah,
never thought that person would listen to it. But it's just crazy the
yeah, absolutely.
social media can do, and you just don't know who's listening or who's watching.
Yeah, so we'll keep putting that out in the
Yeah.
universe anyway. We'll not chase it, but
No,
we'll put it out
put
there.
it into the universe, and it might come back round soon.
Yeah.
So your book's out in July, only not that long now. Like, in terms of where people can buy the book, it's going to be in all major retail bookstores, correct?
I'm assuming so. I'm not really sure actually how this all works.
Yeah.
It's all quite new to me. So I'm assuming it will be available for all retail stores to stock it. I think it will
Yeah.
just depend on the demand. So pre-orders are next month, May 19th. And I'm assuming what stores will stock it will kind of come from how big a demand there
Yeah.
is for that. That's kind of, like I said, this part is kind of all new because it's out of my hands. I've not got control over it. So I don't know all the ins and outs. I just kind of need to see how it unfolds along with everyone else.
Yeah, it's exciting though. It is definitely
Yeah.
exciting. And where can people find you? So you're on Instagram. That's how we connected. But do you have a website? Are you on TikTok? Like, where else can people follow or find you?
I have a website that is like half done and has been half done for about 5 years because I do it and I never finish it. I have a TikTok that I use and then I'll try and jump on some trends and then I'll remind myself I'm 35 and I need to calm down. So
Look at
primarily I'm just floating
you.
about Instagram.
Yeah. I feel like Instagram's a happy medium. Like, it's a really good platform for authors, I find. And whenever I speak to different authors, they always say that is the place that they are at.
So that's my main home. Every so often I'll try and jump on a trend and make it author related and then I'll get like 2 likes and I'll go, this isn't for me.
No, I know you have to do some silly dance moves or
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I'll
Different
stick to
generation.
just posting Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because if you think about the age demographic of your audience, or your readers, where do you think you fall into?
I would say sort of millennial age.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it has surprised me. There has been younger readers and there has been older readers that have loved it as well. But I think because when I write characters, I write them of a similar age to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So some of the stuff I'm saying is maybe more relatable to people in my age range, but it still seems to be well received by a lot of different ages as well.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Perfect. Well, I'm wishing you all the best. It's a very exciting couple of years ahead and beyond. But with your 4-book deal, like, you should be very, very pleased and happy with yourself because it's an incredible achievement. So relish in all things to come and enjoy it. Just enjoy the ride. Like, I hope you get to celebrate. I hope you don't unbook what you've got planned.
I know my friends and family will kill me again if I do.
Take a moment to just applaud yourself and be in the spotlight.
Appreciate that.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I'm excited for when your book comes out in July. And obviously, we'll hopefully see it across the world as well. And thank you so much. I do really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me.